In this video, I'm going to do a very quick walk through our didactic course called Walking the Solar System. I'm going to be quite quick as all the information you will need are down below in the zip file you will find, and you can find all the necessary information there in big detail. So the didactic course was created by myself and George Kutsumbos. He's a teacher from Kalamata, from Bugas schools. And the basic information about the course are the following. Brief description, so the overall idea of the activity is for students to create a scale model of the solar system and get basic information about the planets. You can do this with students between 12 and 16, and depending on how you shape the activity, you can also use it with younger students if you like. So the activity follows the basic inquiry steps we talked about in our first MOOC in Module 2. So we're starting with the orientation phase, we move on to conceptualization, then we go to investigation, conclusion, and finally discussion. You're also going to find under each phase an extra set of guidelines, which includes some links to some basic ICT tools you can use during each step. You will find tips for a diverse classroom, and you will also have a list of the main skills involved and how for each step. So starting from orientation, you might want to do maybe a little demonstration with Stellarium for your students, or get them use applications on their tablets or their phones and talk about how do scientists explore the solar systems. You can also use some materials from the missions that we presented to do a preliminary discussion with them. And then you might want to focus your discussion a little bit on the scales of the universe. So you can ask them things like how big do they think the solar system is, how big are the planets, how far away from each other, and you can even get them to create a mock-up to get a first idea of what they have in their minds on the relative size of the planets and on the different distances between them. And you're going to use this mock-up later on to compare it with what they found and check if their initial conception was right or wrong. So after you get the basic questions out there, you want to move on to investigation, where you actually start wondering about how scientists measure the size of planets and other planets, how they measure the distances, and not only scientists, but also how did people from past eras make these measurements. And you can try and inspire your students to build a model around the solar system using an accurate scale. In the accompanying file you will find with our didactic course, we do have some suggestions about measurements that ancient civilizations used to made on different planetary sizes. So we have a little bit about the Eratosthenes experiment and how he measured the circumference of Earth. We also have how ARISTARCHUS of SAMOS measured the size of the moon, how you can calculate lunar distance, solar distance, and some others. So you can use these as inspiration to show your students that sometimes measurements like that could also be done through very simple tools. Although they might not be too accurate, they still have a great value, and they can be a very nice demonstration that science can also be fun and simple. When you move on to the conclusion part, you do want your students to present what they've done to their peers, get feedback from them, maybe make some adjustments and changes to what they're going to present in the final phase. And you also want them to look back at the mock-up they created in the conceptualization phase and compare the two and see what they thought before and what is their understanding now with regards to relative sizes and distances between the planets. And the final step is discussion, where you can get your students to present their models to other students, to other teachers, maybe to their parents or the wider public in your town. And then you can have an overall discussion with them about what is their overall opinion about their work. Do they think that their model was successful? What did the visitors think about it? If they would change something, if they had to do it all over again. and do a final discussion with them around these issues. As I said earlier, this is just a quick walkthrough. You can find everything in the zip file below this video.